So these are the methods. I'll come to the functions again. So what are the functions? In order to understand functions, formally a function is a useful technique that groups together a set of statement, right? To so that they can be run more than once. So we can group together a set of statement, we can give them a name, and then we can call them by that name to run the same set of code again and again. So let's say, remember the sort function in list. So if you have a list, let's say L is equals to 1, 2, 3, 90, 34, 12, 28, 23, 61, 34, like that, right? So if you have a list like this, and if you L dot sort, so what this sort method does, it will sort your list, and if you check the list, so it is sorted. If you want, you can also sort in reverse order as well, like the decreasing order as well. So what we are doing here, we are just writing a single line of code. It's not some magic. Somebody has written the logic to sort. Somebody has written a logic to sort into this method. Method, as I said, it is also a function inside the body of a class. So somebody has written the, somebody know, basically those who have written the code for Python to Python as a programming language, somebody has created Python as a programming language. So they have done the same thing, right? So they have given this sort functionality in the list itself. So sort is one of the method of this list. So it is a function in the body of this class of this list. Okay. So they have written some logic to rearrange it and then return a sorted form of it. Right. So they have done that. So the same thing, let's say, so there would be some line of code. Let's say there would be 10 line of code like this. For example, think about this 10 line of code, right? This is the code that will be sorting it. So they will create a function, right? They will create a function. I'll tell you how to create functions later. But just understand in a nutshell as of now. So they'll be creating like def func name, and then return something like this. Return X or whatever. So this line of code will execute if I call the function with this name. So what I'm doing, these 10 line of code or 10, 12, whatever it is, I am grouping, right? And I am assigning it a name and creating a function. So whenever I will call this function, these line of code will execute one by one. And whatever I'm doing, it will done. So once you see the example, you'll be able to understand it more. Okay. Also, one thing, see, in order to create a function, we'll have to write the code once, right? So if you are going to do something only once in your program, there is no need to write function for it. You can write directly like this, right? But if I'm going to use this particular part of code multiple times, for example, sorting, I'm going to use sorting, let's say 5 to 6 times in my code, right? I can use sorting 5 to 6 times in my code. So instead of writing this 10 line of code 5 to 6 times, so it will be 50, 60 line of code. I can create a function of it, right? So it will just add 2 more lines into this. And then whenever I have to use it again, I'll be using just in a single line. That's it. I'll call this, I'll pass the list, and it will return me the sorted list. Simple, right? So if I'm using 5, 6 times, so 5, 6 times will be 5, 6 lines, and this will be 10 lines and 2 extra lines. So 12 plus 6, 18 lines total. Whereas I was writing 60 lines in original code. So this is how functionality function controls. And this is one of the other way to reusing, this is one of the way to reuse your code. Okay. And also for the functional, for the design of the code, design of the program actually. So we do not just write everything one by one, right? We do not just write everything one by one. We can use the functionality to reuse our code again and again. So sometimes it will come and hit this code, right? So sometimes it will not. So that's what it is. Okay. That's what the beauty of programming. So now we'll see, you might have understood when do we create functions, right? So when we have to run some part of code more than once or more than twice, then we can simply create a functions. All right. So then now let's see how can we create functions. That's what the thing. So let's go. So you might have got a glimpse like, so def is another keyword. Okay, one more thing. So I told you can create a function and they can use it. So this is the first phase of function. This is called function definition. And when you are using it, that will be called as a function calling. And remember, these lines of code inside the function will never run until you call them. Even if you write wrong code inside it, right? If it is a syntax error, it will be caught. But until unless it is a syntax error, if it is not a syntax error, you will never get an error in this code because it is not running, right? It is not running. It will only run when you call the function. Okay, let's see. So there are two phases of the function, as I said, function definition and function calling. So let's say if I use def, so I can create a function using def keyword, right? And then you can give the function name, and here I can give the arguments, argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, and so on. So I can give more than one argument as well, right? I can pass as many as arguments I want. Okay. So, and here once again colon, remember for indexing it, sorry, for what do you see, indentation, right? So whatever I'll be writing at this indentation level or more than that, not less than this indentation. I will never go over here, right? That will be wrong. If I'm using some, let's say, if statement, so I can go more further here, but I cannot go before that, right? If I go write something here, so that will be out of the function. Okay. So here I'll be writing my code. Logic goes here. So this is the code logic, and then you can write the return function, return if you want to return some value from your function. If you don't want, you can also leave it as a return if you want. Okay. So this is the basic body of the function. This is how you create a function. All right. Yeah. So let's create a very simple function. See, as of now, you'll be saying that whatever function I'll be giving as an example to you, it will not be following when do we create functions. Because I'll be creating function of one line of code. So that's not probably, useful actually. So let's say I'll be creating def hello is the function name, right? What it does not return. So based on the number of argument, based on the argument passed, based on your returning or not, there can be different types of functions. So I'll try to cover all of them. So let's say hello is one of the function that does not take any argument. It does not take on any argument. It just print hello. It's a static function. It just print hello, and it does not return anything as well. So it could be, simple one line of code in the function as well. So this could be very small function as well. So hello is a function. Now I have created a function. This is a what does the function do? It will simply print some hello, right? So let's say if I call this function, let's say hello. So what it does, in order to call a function, you'll have to write the name of the function and this parenthesis, right? And if you are passing anything as an argument, so you can pass here as well. Otherwise, you can leave it as well. So arguments are used as an input to the function. So if you want to give some input to the function, you can use an argument. Right? We are not using any input as a function in here. So when I'm calling it, I'm running it. Let's say there is no syntax error or something. I don't want to. Okay, leave it. Yeah. So this particular line of code will only run when I'll call this function, and I'm getting this print hello state. Okay.